Hey everyone, here's another video in the series of Jiva Wiki markup to HTML conversion. In this video, we are going to focus on conversion of tables. So right now in front of me, there is this acceptance criteria field, and I've added a table to this field, and let's click on save. And let's see what format this table is visible when it comes to ServiceNow. So after this data is received in ServiceNow, the table is visible in somewhat this format. Starting with two pipes and then a star title. These three are the titles. So these are appended with in the beginning and towards the end with a star, which means the text is bold. Yeah, it is bold here. And then the actual content is being followed. Serial number 1, name, and the occupation. Serial number 2, name and the occupation, and everything is within the single pipe, like the occupation and the name and the serial number, and then there's a new line in between. So let's try to script it out and parse this format into an acceptable HTML format in ServiceNow. Let's see how this works. So I've already created this function, and I'm just going to write the actual scripts right now. So Jiva text, okay, not this one, but this one. And now let's start with our regex pattern. Okay, to start with, first I need to have two pipes. So here we go, backslash and pipe. And then the entire text needs to be in between. So we usually do that, as we have already seen in previous sessions, using this. And then again it needs to be followed by two pipes. So this is basically our title. Now after the title there's a new line, then that needs to be followed by a backslash n, and when it comes to the new line, then we need to also focus on matching any character, and that we are going to do using backslash s and backslash capital S. I'm going to explain this in a bit, like how this whole thing works. And after this part, then again we need to look into the possibility of new block getting started, like new line. Multiple rows can be there in a table. So let's add that. This is for a new line. And then there's a pipe, which means a new row is getting started. And then this caret symbol and pipe again. And I think I'm almost done. Then to signify the end of the block, we will use this and this. Okay, so this part is done. Now we will focus on the replacement part. So, but let me just explain this regex in a bit. So if I go to the text which we have received in ServiceNow from Jira without a proper conversion in place, is starts with two pipes, and then there's the title, and again two pipes. As long as the title is there, there will be the separator is two pipes, and in the end again there are two pipes, and then there's a new line, and then single pipe, and then the entire row is there with all the columns in place. Now let's go back to our regex. So I've made sure of the two pipes over here, and then we are capturing the title with this part and closing with these two pipes, and then we are going to a new line, and this part is making sure of capturing the matching any character. And when we talk about star and question mark, this matches 0 or more characters. Now coming to the next part, we have two new lines, meaning the block break. And then after that part, we have this backslash n and the caret symbol. along with the pipe. So this means a line that does not start with a pipe symbol. That is not a new block, which means in the current row or in between there are single pipes. For example, this one is this one symbolizes that a new row has started, but we also have a single pipe in between, which also says that this is a new cell, not a new line. Now let's go back to our script. Okay, and then in the end we have \n dollar, which signifies the end of input after the new line, and then this dollar specifies the end of input directly, and then we have G, which basically means we are looking for all the matches in that text which we have received from Jira. So I hope this part is clear, and then now we are going to focus on converting whatever we are receiving to an HTML format. So this part will be a little bit lengthy. So I'm going to create a function for this. Let's write match headers and rows. Okay. And now here I'm going to write that complete script, and then I'll explain that script, like what I've done and how it works. Now that I've written the script, let's quickly test it out. So I'm going to copy this function, format tables, and paste it here. Let's save this. Let's go to Jira. I'm going to, let's say, modify something over here. Let's change the serial number to 3 and save it. Let's see if this works fine. Here I am in the ServiceNow instance. Yes. So I am able to see the data in the exact format, the tabular format which I have mentioned on the Jira side, and the data is received as it is in the ServiceNow instance. Now let me explain what this script is doing. Let's go back to a format tables function. So I've already explained how this regex is working. Now after the comma is the replacement part, like the actual replacement of the HTML tags so that the format is visible in the correct HTML format in ServiceNow. Now first of all, I'm splitting the headers on the basis of double pipe, which is basically the title, the first row of our table. And once I'm done doing that, I'm using th tags, which are HTML tags for title, the first row, thead, th, and then I'm writing all the text and using b tags to make it bold. And then I'm closing the t-head and starting with the body, t-body. So t-body actually refers to the remaining rows of the table, whether it has 1 row or 10 rows, doesn't matter. So everything within the t-body is part of the actual rows except the first row, because first row is for title and we have taken care of that over here. Then I am splitting it on the basis of \n. So whenever there is a new line encountered, which means it's a new row, and then just looping in and checking multiple different pipes that appears in between. And then this particular line which focuses on the boolean part over here. So what this is doing is it makes sure that we are removing empty cells, we are not taking those into account. And then again I am running a loop I'm adding the data. TD is for table data, TR is for table row. So every TD appears inside the TR. That's what the HTML format is all about. If you are not aware of what HTML table looks like, I highly recommend going to maybe W3 Schools and searching for an HTML table. And then this TR is closed. And similarly, I'm going to perform this operation as long as the entire rows are not transformed, whether it has 10 rows, 100 rows, or 200 rows, doesn't matter. And in the end, I'm closing the T body and the table tag. So this is how I am actually passing the table data using regex and the HTML tags. So this is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.